Welcome, Legion, back to our new season of D20
New series,
Live.
actually.
New series, actually. Not even a season. That's what I looked at him like, is this a new
No, it's a
season?
new series
Yeah, okay. New series entirely. For D20 Live long game format, we are playing in Legend of the Five Rings. We are playing adventures and telling stories in the Emerald Empire of Rokugan. Hence why Sam is looking more beautiful than normal with her outfit on.
Fucking show off.
I got a yukata and a fan, and I brought a
this is-
wakizashi as well.
You see, Sam, this is why we don't cosplay, because inevitably someone's going to do really good and it's just going to shame the rest of us.
It's going to shame the rest of us. Yeah, exactly.
Bad at
Yeah.
it. Sorry.
We're ashamed.
We are ashamed.
All of you, not
All
me.
of you. All of you
Can the
are...
camera actually see the
There.
knife that's off camera?
Now it can.
I'll put that away.
Someone decided to bring a knife to a D20 Live recording because that's what we needed.
It's a wakizashi.
It's still
Is it
a
because-
blade.
Is it because
Mike,
we're
make
a
it
gun
work
show?
to your advantage. We're quality.
We're quality. We're adding to the ambiance of the setting.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. So, welcome to the Emerald Empire. It is a land, as I'm sure all of you have watched the setting video by this point. If you haven't, go watch it. Then come back here. So I don't need to describe the setting as a whole. But where all of you are currently is it is a bright, beautiful, clear day in northern Crane territory, specifically the Kakita lands. And as beautiful as the Crane lands are normally, with their manicured gardens, beautiful wool forest and bamboo clearings, right next to the sea, most areas of the Crane lands, you can actually see the sea from it. The Kakita lands in particular, because they are not only the best duelists in the Empire, but they're also famed as some of the best artisans. Dueling and artisan work go hand in hand in Rokugan. These lands are immaculate. Even the peasants take great care to keep their farming fields, their fields of wheat and rice paddies, level, perfect and pristine, as much as possible. Even the bandits are clean in this area of Rokugan, and that's saying something. As I said, the day is bright and clear, and all of you are traveling, and have been traveling, for several days. Just so the fans know, we played a game of 20 questions, which in L5R is basically a way of determining your backstory. So while all that backstory has not been lost to time, it's going to be coming out slowly over the course of the long game. They all know each other and know how they know each other, and they'll be revealing that. Know of each other, yes. Yeah. And though this is the first time that they will be working together. So... per the requests of each of your respective parents or masters and so forth, you're traveling together. You have met up through the various inroads to Kyuden Kakita, which is the Kakita family castle, have traveled south for a day already, stayed at a way house along the way. Yes.
We didn't introduce ourselves.
I'm going to.
Oh.
Yes. Traveling south for a day.
I thought you forgot like I always do.
No, quite intentionally. And you're traveling south along the road. Have stayed at a way castle, and are about halfway through your second day's journey, before you come across a situation as you take a bend in the road. Before we actually get to that, all of you have been having conversations. So what do you know about each other? We'll start with yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Bayushi Dakio. I'm a member of the proud and noble and honorable Scorpion clan. And no matter what anyone has told you, we're not monstrous villains that are secretly poisoning Rokugan, specifically to manipulate it from the shadows.
At
I
all.
promise. Mm-hmm. And I'm also Big Mike.
Sam?
Hi everybody, it's Sam, the production manager, finally in front of the camera for one of these things.
Hooray!
Yay! So I am playing Akodo Shizuka of the Lion Clan. She is very stern and very she's very stern looking and very prim and proper, because the lion are always for the bravity and the bravity is not the word I'm looking for. Bravery. Thank
Brevity.
you. Brevity. Yes, maybe. I don't know.
I thought that was shortishness.
Courageousness of everything to fight with, and in her hair she has one gold streak and one silver streak, which will be really revealed later.
I'm Dave. I am playing Shiba Kinsuke of the Shiba clan. He's wearing mostly oranges, set of hakama, traveling cloak, and black hair, brown eyes. He's got a hair up in a ponytail, full head of hair. He hasn't shaved his pate.
Okay.
And he's just traveling along.
And Dom?
Hi, I'm Dom, and I'm going to be playing Togashi Daishi, a monk of the Dragon Clan. I'm bald, completely bald on the top, but I've got quite a beard growing. I am wearing mostly greens, as are the colors of my clan. However, I'm also wearing a very beautiful scarf around my neck that's hugging it very tightly.
Now, for just to give context, the reason why, for instance, Shiba Kinsuke hasn't actually shaved his pate and doesn't have a proper top knot is because 3 of the 4 of you are not proper adult samurai yet. You're all traveling to the city of Suma. Suma is famed as a trade town. It's still young by comparison to the hundreds of years old that the rest of the various crane holdings are, because Suma is famed for one thing, and that is the tournament, which or what's called a Genpuku ceremony, a coming-of-age ceremony that has been known, takes place all over the empire. But here in Suma, it was so extravagant and so beautiful that over the centuries that it's taken place here, it actually started attracting the attention of the Hantei Emperor line, along with many of his other dignitaries, and therefore if the emperor is in attendance or some of his important people are in attendance, then other important people in the empire are in attendance. And it acquired such a fame that it became known as the Topaz Championship. Now this has become known as not only a Genpuku ceremony, but it's morphed into a tournament as well. A place where not only will all younger samurai will come of age, but the person who performs the best in all of the various trials that are involved in the ceremony will become known as the Topaz Champion. Someone who doesn't have any official duties within the empire because they're still young samurai and just into adulthood, but the Topaz Champion, there's not been a single one that hasn't been given a prestigious duty right out of the gate. And it's sought after voraciously by many of the clans. So all of you are some of the best representations of your clan. As I said, it's only 3 of you.
I'm not competing, right?
You're not competing, no.
Yeah.
You have been sent both because your parents knew each other, your parents worked together in the past, and your master thought it best of, hey, these are 3 individuals, descendants of people whom I respect, and you also have other duties that he wants to send, so it's a best of both worlds that you're traveling with them. So,
of course,
ostensibly, you've been sent to watch over them, to make certain that they're treated well and with respect, because you are a full samurai and you can make demands that they can't, but at the same time, your master wants to ensure that a few other duties happen while you're there. So, all of you are traveling.
Are we role-playing our introductions to each other?
Yes, go ahead and this will be the group of you introducing yourselves during your travels, and then we'll go back to the situation at hand.
It is an absolute pleasure to meet each and every one of you. I am, of course, I assume you might know, I don't presume that you keep very abreast of Scorpion affairs. I am Bayushi Dakyo, and you must be the Honorable Akoto Shizuka. It is an absolute pleasure to meet you. And if I'm not mistaken...
Are you actually looking in a scroll?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
No, the book is because Mike's memory is terrible.
That's fair, yes.
My character has perfect memory, and
exactly.
it is represented by this book.
That book. Okay, cool, yes. That makes much more sense. Okay.
Because if I'm walking around doing this, I'm a pretentious
dick more
than I already am.
Yes.
And you must be Shiba Kinsuke.
Kinsuke.
He didn't say that wrong, I did. Kinsuke, it is an absolute pleasure to meet you. I understand both of your Genpuku ceremonies are coming up.
You are quite correct. It is a pleasure to meet you as well. We don't, those in the Phoenix lands don't get to meet very many of the prestigious Scorpion clan.
What a refreshingly open-minded attitude. I think we're going to be great friends. And who could forget the honorable and wise Togashi Daishi, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not mistaken, Bayushi-san. It is a pleasure to meet you as well. I've heard many tales of our grandfathers and their adventures.
Oh, all of them good, I hope.
Mostly.
Oh, dear. Well, if there's any dishonor, please let me know. One must redeem one's clan's honor, and that, of course, of his master, good Bayushi Sarada, my master, as carrying forward with that legacy. Please, you must let me know.
I heard that he lost his eye due to a flying shrapnel from my grandmother's table.
I had heard that as well. But it's very hard for the old man in his aged and withered condition to really recall much of anything well, and the shrapnel still bothers him to this day.
I hope that he continues to live a long life.
Oh, as do I. In the service of the Emperor.
Akodo-san.
Yes.
I must pass my respects on to you, your family, and especially your grandmother. The way that my grandfather and my master tells me, she shielded a simple crane merchant with said table and her own body, and that is one of the most respectable things that I've ever heard of.
I believe that my grandmother told us of your grandfather actually saving the life of a poor peasant girl.
Yes, he actually named his daughter after her.
It's very honorable indeed.
So, as I said, the day is bright and clear, and after leaving the way station, halfway between Kyuden Kakita and Suma Village, you have made great time. The stalks of orange wool and bamboo along the sides of the road are well maintained and kept well away from the road, so samurai can travel to and fro. And while you haven't actually seen any peasants on the road, this area of Crane Lands, due to the tournament, has actually been the peasants are actually allowed to travel along the roads for this month because of all the goings on. Normally, it would be reserved only for samurai, and peasants would have to walk along the grass. Cicada are calling out in the morning air, and without warning, as you round a bend, you come upon an old man, a peasant who's on the road. He's dressed in clean but peasant clothing, topped with a brilliant blue scarf to buffet against the wind. He's laden with a very large chest that is on his greatly bent back, and blocked by the hillside as you were. The moment that he saw you, he stumbled to try and get out of your way, tumbling off the embankment and off the roadway into the shallow river reeds along the side with a great splash. No, you're too far away to catch him. But with a great splash, he falls into the reeds. What do each of you do? But before you do that, I actually need your awareness checks, please. Don't make one. Let me know what your awareness check is. 2. Okay. 3. Okay. 3. All right. And 2. Okay. Daishi and Dakyo, you notice that in the river reeds, it's a very common sight to see a lot of crane, standing
crane
in the
people or crane,
cranes, standing tall above the riverbank and looking for food. Despite that, the old man made a very loud crash and splash into the water. You notice that the two of you don't, that the cranes don't actually seem disturbed by it. They just go about peaceably. They're not shocked by this, and they just stay continually looking at food. So what do the rest of you do?
I speak to everyone and I say...
Stop our driver.
I'm just gonna...
Okay, you stop the cart.
I'm gonna immediately jump off and go and run to him.
Akodo-san, please, be cautious. This might be... While I do believe the best in humanity, this could be a trap set up by bandits. And please, allow me to help you.
Very well.
If you two could please keep watch.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to immediately jump and run.
Devin,
Yep.
At this point, not being a fully fledged samurai, would I have a single sword or?
Yes, you do. So basically, how it happens is you have a katana. Katanas are not gifted to you. As a katana as a young samurai, you're still expected to defend yourself. But none of you, aside from him, have a wakizashi. Your wakizashis are going to be gifted to you at the end of your genpuku. So you still have a sword. And you still have your spear, that's fine, but it's the smaller sword that represents your adulthood. None of you have. So the two of you jump off the cart, run across, acknowledge Daishi as you before you hit the river, And you dive right in?
Yep.
Okay, so your clothes get wet.
I'll stay on land
shore?
and just wait.
Okay, yep. As soon as Akoto goes into the river and starts making her way out, the two of you notice that the cranes now and start moving and scamper away from the moment that she hits the water, and move out. Or
Cranes running from a lion? That's never happened before.
Well, she's also half crane, so...
And you move out into the water. Grab the old man. Do you grab him or his bag first? It's attached, but
I'm
he's sort
grabbing
of
him.
Okay. All right. So make strength check, please.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you reach down, grab him, even just lifting him from the water, the chest is quite heavy. He must be carrying all of his worldly belongings in it for it to be this heavy.
He must be,
But,
obviously.
yeah.
Okay, so 3, keep what? 3?
3, keep 3. Just straight strength roll.
11.
Okay, so a little bit of a struggle. You manage to pull the chest, and the suction of the water pulling the chest free. And once it's actually out of the water, he's much easier to move. But you get yourself fairly wet just doing all of this. And the old man seems shocked. He doesn't try and fight you, both because he's like choking and gagging on the water a little bit and coughing. But once he sees that it's you and that you're actually willing to help him, he sort of leans into you and lets you help him. He's coughing.
As they reach closer to the bank, I hold my hand out to assist them.
My thanks. You pull him from the riverbank, and he is struggling to pull off. He's muscled, he's traveled, but again, age is just keeping him from easily getting it off of his back. But he's like, oh, and it drops heavily from his back, and he's still bent over, despite the fact that the chest is off.
It's the old Chinese man thing. He's just like, oh, yes.
Oh.
Does it seem like anything was lost when you fell in the river?
And he's looking around, and he pulls out, and you see his chop, his papers of travel. You're like, oh, well, that's most important, more than anything else. And you see, then he's looking down, and you see that he does have a small tonto. Peasants are allowed to carry that. And like, okay, no, well, my chest wasn't broken open, so I believe so. He blinks the water from his eyes. Akoto-sama, oh, thank you very much. And he gives you a deep bow. And moves the chest back on its side. The lock has not broken, and it seems in fine repair. My apologies for my embarrassing tumble there.
Oh, no. I'm more concerned about you. You seem, well, winded, obviously. And...
I'm a well-traveled person. I've taken many falls in my day, but
are you cold,
thank
sir?
you. Oh, very much so. If you please excuse an old man, I need to warm up.
You rest. I will start a fire for you.
Oh, it's not necessary.
Please, it would be
we insist.
my honor. And
Thank you.
And I go.
Thank
and
you.
You keep looking at me like... Sorry.
I'm trying to look at all of you, yeah.
You keep looking at me, it's like, when is he going to do something?
When is he going to do something? It's like, when is he going to be like, why are we helping this guy?
No. I don't
Yeah.
want to interrupt my compatriots. I am going to step down politely from my cart.
Okay.
Honorable compatriots. Would you not?
Peanut Gallery production people, not welcome.
Would you not? Honorable compatriots. It occurs to me, we are, in fact, creating something of a small scandal. And as your, I suppose, senpai.
Yeah, that would be fair, because you are the older
As
samurai,
your
yeah.
senpai, I should advise you accordingly on these matters. Now, this good peasant has...
He's shaking as he's opening his chest and obviously going for warmer clothing.
This good peasant has, unfortunately, by this incident, delayed us. Which, unfortunately, by Rokugani law, is an offense.
It's true. I don't mean to delay.
Please, don't interrupt me. Now...
Yes. Well done.
Now, it occurs to me that were we to camp and ensure that this old man were to be kept well and well tended, we would be late, and that would be an insult on our honor. However, of course, we cannot let this old man go without at least knowing his name.
Oh, Megumi. Sama. Megumi.
Asama, very good for you. Now, You said you were well-traveled. Is that not so?
Indeed,
Where do you
yes.
hail from, good Megumi?
I'm from Kakita lands. I travel from Suma to Shiroshinden Kakita, which you notice the peasant is actually using the full name. So he's educated to a certain extent, as much as peasants are.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
write down all of
That's
his
fine,
stuff,
yep.
but I'm just
Yep.
Megumi, peasant.
Megumi, peasant, educated as far as peasants would be. I've between here and Hirodana, the western hub of the imperial city. So basically, going between those three places most of his life. Totally normal for a peasant to
Yeah.
live
Yeah,
most of their
totally
life.
normal peasant. Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, it occurs to me that the biggest and most... As your senpai, I will convey you to the proper means of
He opens the
dealing with
chest.
this situation. Now,
He's bringing out tea and laying a table out, warm it and
He was carrying a table?
he was you see his chest. He's carrying a tea set. He's carrying extra
How good is
peasant's
it?
robes. It's chipped in places.
Damn
It's
it.
it's
is it bigger? Is the chest bigger on the inside?
No.
Fucking hell.
I don't think it's a Time Lord.
It's not like that. He might be a spirit or a kami or something. This is a thing we have to worry about around
You see
here.
that you see a second set, just one set of robes dry that are actually kept wrapped in not tatami, tatami actually. As he undoes it and it's like, please, samurai, avert your eyes if you would, so I do not shame your grace at your gloriousness with my nakedness while I change.
You're interrupting me again. Now, it occurs to me that
He shakes his head and just starts taking his top off.
It occurs to me that while we could wait for this man to be warm again by a fire, it would take us in the neighborhood of hours, as I am something of an expert in clothing, you see. But, stop it! But, if we find a way to, let's say, cut through the problem as efficiently as possible, how much is your tea set?
In with respect to, in what manner?
Well,
Samurai-san?
how much did it cost you to purchase it?
I did not purchase it, Samurai-sama.
Or who did?
My great-great-grandmother, I do believe.
Very well, then. Accumulating for value over a period of time with sentimentality. Would one koku be a sufficient price?
Respectfully, honestly, and in no offense do I mean so, that is a paltry sum for something that is priceless to me,
Fair
Samurai-sama.
enough.
It is not for sale. And it is not necessary. You have helped me enough. Again, I do not mean to delay, as I said to Togashi-sama.
I
It is
returned
not.
with like a bundle of sticks.
This is all that is necessary, and more than more than necessary. Before Bayushi-sama has the right of it, if I may speak. That you need not delay further, and thank you for doing so. I simply ask the opportunity to offer a gift in thanks. For if you had not come around, I may very well have drowned. Which is true, because he fell face first into the water.
Well, it simply occurred to me that the weight of the table was weighing you down, and by reimbursing you for the cost of a replacement,
No,
it would
it's
both lighten your burden and perhaps give you coin to make purchase of a new one.
entirely fair, but not necessary. I have what I need, and thank you, Honorable Bayushi-sama. But please, here he moves through the chest and opens the chest. Like, my life would have ended most disgracefully in a riverbed were it not for your actions, Honorable Akodo-sama. And so my line and my family lineage would have ended. I would not have been able to gift this, but my son is dead, so I offer these. And he digs further into his chest, pulls out a small mahogany box about yay big, and places it on the ground in front of you, and takes a bundle that is about yay long and thin, and reverently puts it on the ground as it on top of the box. And it's like, the katana or the mahogany box, Akodo-sama, is your choice. Make an etiquette roll.
Yes. That's 3, keep 2.
As this is happening, I'm
Yep.
like laying down the sticks on flat ground and propping them up
Okay.
accordingly for a fire.
15.
15. So you know, whether it's peasant, all the way up through the emperor, you refuse gifts. You refuse them 3 times.
Yes.
And if they're insisting on giving it to you
Yes.
a 4th time, then you accept the gift.
I remembered that from the book.
Okay.
I did. I actually read a lot of the books.
All right. So,
So I could have done it 3. I could have done that 2 more times, and
yes, but you weren't making it a gift or an offer. You were offering to purchase. That's not a gift.
okay, cool.
So you did nothing wrong.
Okay, cool.
And he's a peasant, so you talking to him is not at all important.
And just so the audience knows, a koku is a lot of goddamn.
Oh, it's a lot of goddamn money for a peasant.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
So
And again, that's why it's a family heirloom, so he's not going to sell it. So you're first. So go ahead.
I couldn't possibly. This is obviously so. It's so priceless to you. I couldn't just take that from you.
It is, but as I've said, Honorable Akoto-sama, I have no one to gift this to anymore. I am carrying it, and I would carry it to my dying day, unless it sees purpose in someone else carrying it on.
I'm very honored, but it's so much of your life. I couldn't possibly just.
Unrolls a scroll, keeping a tally.
No, this is out of character. This is out of character.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
Dakio's being proper. Mike's
Yeah.
being a shit.
fucker. Okay. I now completely forgotten what her argument was. Like,
You've kept
it is
so
a life
long.
that as like I have kept it. I have kept it very long, and I agree. But through a fault of my own, I would have lost it. For if you had not been here, my life would have ended. I may have slipped, who knows, of my own accord. I was foolish enough to be walking along the side of the road instead of in the middle. My line would have ended, and my sword would have been lost, or my family's sword would have been lost, were it not for you, and thus you taking action. This now belongs to you.
This is the 3rd time, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm supposed to.
You gotta refuse this time.
Yeah.
Third time. It's like, by my honor, I could not possibly just take something so important to you. It's just the life of your line is far too important if I were to take it, it would diminish it.
Take a point of honor.
Ooh.
Okay. Just a single point, not a rank.
Yeah.
But in your hands, there would be no diminishing, for this is a family of... This is the sword of a family of Hainans, a family of lessers, and it would be in the hands of those who are greater, and you could not, through any action of your own, shame it. Please. Take it.
You gotta take it this time.
I know. You honor
Are
me
you taking the
greatly.
katana or the box?
Your choice.
The box, because
box.
because
It could
the,
be
the
anything.
katana he can use to protect himself.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Even a katana.
He puts the katana back in his chest and hands you the box in and of itself. Yeah.
Every Final Fantasy fan just had a stroke right now.
You honor me greatly, sir.
What was his name?
Thank you,
Megumi.
Megumi.
I approach him. What would be the proper honorifics for me to refer to him?
You there.
San would be excessive, but you can just call him Megumi.
Megumi, if I may
Sama.
offer you a gift.
Oh.
A simple breath from me in order to help you proceed along your current travels with warmth and comfort.
Thank you. I
You accept it?
accept. I
You
accept.
accept?
Yes, because he's a peasant. He doesn't. If you offer him something, you should accept it. And if he's going way above, if a peasant refuses you multiple times, it's almost like he's trying to make fun of you, because that's something that
okay.
samurai do,
Right.
not lesser people.
Okay.
Samurai are given the opportunity to tell each other how honorable this gift is. A peasant should just take what is offered to them, if it's a gift.
Okay, so you said take a point of honor. Do I subtract or add?
No, add.
Okay.
Add.
Okay. I nod to him with a very warm smile on my face. I turn to the bundle of wood.
Yeah.
I reach into my scarf. And a small glowing appears from beneath it. And I breathe a small amount of fire onto
He starts a
Sticks.
moment.
simply to just enough to get the fire going. And I say, and I look to
You are an
Bayushi.
Izuzumi.
I look to Bayushi and I say, "A simple breath takes no time at all."
Well done. Well done. He looks in you in awe. You are an Izuzumi. You are... Oh, and he does... To see a samurai alone is a gift. To be in the presence of one of Togashi's chosen. Oh, Sama, you honor my simple tea here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'd like to dig around in my belongings,
Yeah.
trying to find a small thing. But go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. And he continues that, please do not let me delay you any longer than I already have. Again, my humble apologies, Bayushi-sama, for doing so. And he goes about pulls out the matcha, pulls out the whisk, and starts making tea for him while the fire warms up.
It occurs to me we haven't had lunch yet. You know, and as I feel it, food on the road, always the worst. We should sit and eat for a time, perhaps?
So long as we believe that there is time for it. Of
Well,
course.
you can't arrive with an empty stomach, because then it grumbles, and that's just rude.
Of course.
You okay?
Yep. Yeah. So he makes the tea. He offers to make the tea for you, and offers each of you cups first. While you're sitting, just to be clear, you're sitting with him and having food with him,
Or we're sitting adjacent
to him. Yes. Yeah.
I just had one more thing to add on to Bayushi-san. I say to him, a storm without rain is simply darkness.
So it is. Anyway,
You've no game for the metaphors, do you?
out of character, I have game, I just think they're stupid. So, it occurs to me we've been traveling for several days now, we've barely spoken about each other. And I feel the best way to understand someone is to discuss food with them. Honorable Akoto-san. Tell me, what is your favorite dish?
He starts handing tea to each of you, starting with Akoto, and then Togashi, and then Bayushi, and then Shiba.
We lions are very simple. We like our steamed fish. We like our vegetables lightly seasoned.
Oh, why is that?
It is so that we can take pleasure in the simplicity of something, not necessarily, with all the flourish.
It's more efficient.
Yes, it is more efficient.
I see. And how long has it been since you've spoken to your mother?
I don't see how that's important.
Oh.
Megami just downcasts his eyes while he continues to eat.
Well, it just seems to me that you would, being of a certain ancestry, the eschewing of certain finicities would create tension. Would it not?
My parents were married They were married to help bring peace between the crane and the lion.
But you don't send letters to both of them.
It isn't efficient.
I agree. Does anyone else want to talk about food?
Actually, yes. I returned from we were in a carriage?
Yes, a small cart. Yeah.
With a small package, yay big.
Okay.
And I unwrap it, and there are rice balls.
Oh, okay.
With plum centering.
Nice.
And
Beautiful.
I give one to Oji-sama. Or Oji-san.
He thanks you for the fine addition to the meal. Anyone who has etiquette can roll etiquette.
I am not that.
I got fucking nothing.
Oh, for God's
kind of
sake.
samurai.
Oh, for God's sakes, you fucking people.
17!
Hang on.
I have craft tattoo if he wants one.
Nope. It was more of an experiential roll.
Yeah, I do. I have to.
You exploded too.
I know I exploded. Hang on.
Crane in this case.
Okay, hang on.
We got our first
Nice
explosion.
spread wing crane.
They're not even
It'll take
listening.
a month.
Yeah. Multiple explosions.
Then we'll really be late.
That's another
36.
Whoa! Well
We were
done.
tattooing this
30.
old man by the side of the road.
explosion. Guys.
Inkus, stinkus.
Yeah.
I got 38.
Whoa! All right.
In etiquette.
So the tea is quite well prepared for you. Actually, you notice that the tea is very well prepared. It doesn't taste anything particularly different to you. This is one of the for you, Bayushi-san. This peasant just managed to make tea in a fashion that is better than most tea houses you've been to in your life.
Yeah.
And he is acquired, likely because it is Cranelands and they only do sell some of the best tea. So this isn't surprising.
This
but-
is an ordinary
yeah.
peasant. I'm a monkey.
So it's very well done and masterfully made. So just wanted to make you aware of it.
Oh, I know.
What's the weather right now?
Clear, bright sky.
Kind of
Look-
cool, kind of warm,
A little windy.
a little windy.
Hence the scarf that he has on him.
Look, if we accidentally... Sorry, go ahead.
Just enjoying my matcha tea.
Yep.
Just a lovely day, wind blowing through the rice grains.
Exactly. Yep.
With
It's
the way
actually
this-
harvest time. Yeah.
Look, with the way this is going, there's a good chance we just ran into Daidoji, okay? So, you don't call out a spirit when it's playing the game. You're just like, that was a thing.
That was a thing.
Whoever's in that fucking
over-
lacquer case is going to rock the living shit out of the universe.
So do you have any questions for the old man, or would you like to do anything as you finish lunch before you get back on the road, so we can move on?
Because we wouldn't have lunch for more than an hour. It'd be like 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You enjoy some sticky rice and some sashimi and yeah.
Are you sure
Trail
you
rations.
will be? Are you sure you'll be all right on your way?
Oh, I'm fine, Okoro-sama. I have clean clothing, and you see he has changed his top. He'll change his pants later, and it's like, and my scarf will keep me warm, and yes, I will be fine.
And I hope you're not traveling too much farther.
Oh no, I am going to the Way House, and on my way to Kyuden Kakita itself. I'm staying with family there for a short time.
Oh, please. Safe travels.
Last few bits of water and read from there. Yes.
Please, safe travels to you.
My absolute thanks. And humble journey and blessings to all of you. And he looks and like, the three of you do not have a proper layered kimono. Are you, unlike Bayushi-sama, are you traveling to Suma for the championship?
Yes.
Then may this peasant give you blessings and luck. Have Bishamon's blessing be upon each of you, and yourself as well for a fine, days spent in the tournament.
It's half an hour.
You honor us greatly.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'm going to make a lore roll
Yeah, go ahead.
now that he's going.
Okay, for what?
For Q2.
And would you like to make raises?
Stop
Rolling before you have a chance to make raises.
I didn't want to make raises.
Okay, fair enough.
But it
I'm
was
just-
4
yeah.
Q2 and I got 16.
What were you trying to do?
Legends about things like this.
The only thing that you know is
Specifically involving Crane.
Yeah. It's involving the cranes themselves.
Yeah.
It's usually only beings or creatures that either the fortunes are love very much, like the fortune of cranes. He is clearly loved, and by that fortune, he's been blessed likely by that fortune. That's why the cranes they consider him one of their own. That's the only thing that you would know in association with that. And the only reason that cranes would not just get up and GTFO like they did when Akoto jumped in.
And the nice scarf that he has?
The nice scarf that he has is likely just no. There's no
Just a nice scarf.
there's no legends associated with the scarf
What
actually.
about the scarf itself?
The scarf itself looks to be something that is probably the most expensive thing on him, but nothing untoward about it. It stands out definitely because it's a very, very light, pale blue, whereas most peasants could only afford darker colors, easier to afford. Lighter colors are much more expensive.
Either that or it is so old.
It is so old, it's faded.
It's faded.
Yep.
No, because he said it was an iridescent blue. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be that old.
Yeah. It is a very well maintained one, and it's a very, very light
I knew it.
blue. Yeah.
The disguise was terrible. That man was the emperor. The tea was too nice. The scarf too beautiful.
I can think of literally 10 reasons why that wasn't the Emperor. Literally 10 reasons. First of all, when I told him to shut up, the Emerald Champion didn't jump out of the bushes and cut my fucking head
Yeah,
off.
exactly. Yeah. Well, the Emerald Champion's dead, you know that. There's an interim Emerald Champion, but
Yeah,
yes.
who's the interim?
Agasha. 1 second. My notes.
The last one was an Akoto, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the last one was a Doji. Doji Satsume was the last Emerald champion. He died under mysterious circumstances that are still being investigated by the current interim acting Emerald champion, Agasha Sumiko.
What family is an Agasha?
Dragon.
Thank you.
I knew it. Assassination. By the new interim one.
Dun, dun, dun.
That
We'll
literally,
find out why.
that literally makes no sense. That literally makes no sense.
So, you
So
continue
get
on
on
your
our
way. Yep.
Political intrigue.
Akoto-san,
Yes.
may I ask if you've had an opportunity to see what was in Megumi's box?
Oh,
I confess, I am very curious.
I see. Would be improper because he's gone now. So
Yes, he's left and moved beyond the road. Yeah.
So I'll open it then.
You open it, and you see a very fine scroll that is wrapped with a wax seal.
Well, I'd rather not open a wax.
It looks actually not like a messenger scroll. It looks like a Shugenja scroll because it has markings all along it.
What's the
and
mark on the seal?
What?
What's the mark on the seal?
No mark on the seal. No mark on the seal. It's just sealed with wax.
I would rather.
Moving on.
I would rather not open up a Shugenja seal in the middle of the road.
Oh, of course.
I will close this.
I do love having someone who's familiar with the setting here because it's a herring that I could put out, and he thinks, I know exactly what that is. He has no idea what exactly
I don't know what it is. That's why I'm asking
Yes.
informed questions.
Yes, of course. No, there is no seal on the scroll. Like the wax is just sealed.
Is there green flame coming off of this scroll?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh my god,
Because I would huck it in the river.
Yeet!
Not even he is like a...
It's in a box. It's okay. Nothing's wrong.
Very nice box.
However, the wax is blue wax.
Yeah, just...
Obviously for
The,
this.
the only metagaming I'll do with this group, if we find a scroll that has green flames coming out of it, huck it away. Don't
Okay.
even touch it. Get the tongs.
I'll be the first to open it.
Ooh, dragon colors.
Dragon colors. This is obviously meant for me.
Green, fire, dragon!
Dragon. Nothing could go wrong with this at all. Pop. World ends. So, you spend the rest of the afternoon. You arrive in the early evening, rising high on a low hill. You see a city that is spread out. It's really the only city nearby the Tangu River. It has a whole bunch of insular buildings. It's all businesses, usually 1 or 2 story affairs of all sorts of different types of merchants. You have silk merchants, blacksmiths, cobblers, tatami weavers, all sorts of, and farmers all about. But there is a very large number of samurai here, usually of lesser houses. They don't have the pure Great Clan Mons. They have variations on them, either in threading or edging. So it's members of the Great Clans, but usually what are called vassal families of the Great Clans. But you do see there is. Let me just make sure I say this correctly. There's one building that really does stand out. It's surrounded by by a wall that is about 10 feet tall. That encompasses the dueling and training grounds. It is a 7-story pagoda tower made of pale blue shingling, and it's very artfully made and glowing nicely in the soon to be evening sun. You have a full range of sights and senses all about you. Welcome to the city, or the village. City. It's not a village anymore, but people still call it that, of Suma. And the 4 banners that you do see here that do stand out are true Great Clan Mons, of the Akoto family, the Kakita family, the Miramoto family, and an imperial symbol, but you're not to, but only someone with heraldry can try and figure out which imperial family. It's just the chrysanthemum. You're not sure which.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going... Would you mind if I...
Yes, go ahead.
Roll on that. It's 4K2.
It's very hot in this yukata.
I'll bet.
I bet you're going to change out for episode 2.
Yes, I will.
4K2, so that is 10 total.
10 total? Okay. You're not sure entirely. You know that it's not the Emperor's, like, it's not the Emperor himself, it's one of the Imperial families. So either the messengers or the guards or what have you. It's not a high enough roll to figure out which one, but the threading is slightly different. But it's an Imperial family is here in attendance. And welcome to Suma. You arrive at a notable tea house, one of the larger ones in the area. It has the kanji for House of the Laughing Carp out front. You've each been given rooms that have been appointed beautifully matching the needs of your clan. A fairly sparse and simple one for Togashi-san, and the rest of you all have here, either given by the senseis or by the hosts. Aside from yourself, you brought everything that you need. But for each of the competitors, you have a single double-layered kimono for any tests that you have that are non-martial. So whenever you're just sitting in front of your betters and answering questions, so you have a ceremonial kimono. You have proper dojo attire for more martial contests. You have evening attire and the matching sandals, basins to wash in, and both Geta and Zori sandals as well for moving about the city. And last, each of the three of you have a set of scrolls. You have just one that's sitting on your bed, not by a side table, and it has whereas the three of you are scrolls that have been sealed with your clan's symbol and heraldry. You have a single chrysanthemum that's been like a note that's been folded on your bed in the shape of a chrysanthemum.
It's never ever good. Okay,
So.
I opened mine.
Okay, you open yours and you sit, and it's a long, flowery poem that you can pick out the code for as you move through it. But it's essentially a letter that's thanking you from Sarada-sama for your diligence in arriving here on time. Very clearly, he told them this was to stay out for this day and no day afterwards, so that way he knows that you arrived on time. And as you break down the code for it, you learn that there are two things. One, it's essentially two missions for you. One is that there is an individual who's trying to of an unknown clan. He's heard word that there is one of the contestants, of which there are 12, who is trying to not only compete, but is trying to mar and shame this tournament. And Sarada can't have that because there's a person of great importance who's going to be at this tournament, and by this very selfish contestant trying to shame the crane, it's also going to shame the Imperial, and that's where Sarada's the problem.
It's the crane they're trying to shame.
It's a crane they're trying to shame,
Which
but
crane?
It's likely the host. His name is Doji Saishin. He's a dojo sensei at the Kakita Dueling Academy, and likely that this contestant is trying to bring shame and impropriety on the tournament, which normally Sarada wouldn't have an issue with. But it's the fact that you have an Imperial guest there, it's not going to go well for them, and if it's a serious problem, then it might hurt them, and that's why he's sent you. The second thing is there's another contestant, a separate contestant, who is of mixed lineage. It is they are either a lion or a phoenix. They're not too sure which. Primarily because when the scorpion's father died in a recent Oni attack, the mother pulled the child away a couple of years ago.
Okay, rewind a bit.
Yep.
Okay.
There was a contestant of.
They are either lion.
They are a scorpion. They had a scorpion father, and either a lion or phoenix mother. The scorpion haven't figured out what yet, or which yet. And though they are likely to display skills because he grew up in a scorpion dojo, or she grew up in a scorpion dojo, and within the last 5 years, they've been spending. It's one of Sarada's side assignments, so he hasn't been pursuing it with a great deal of zest. There is this contestant has come back into the world, and he wants you to due to the fact that they've been raised fairly in isolation, to either meet them, greet them, get to know them, or get to know their sensei. Once you figure out who it is, there's a lion contest. There is a lion contest. The lion contestant is
her.
No, separate one.
Other lion.
Akoto Shotaka is the lion contestant, and Shiba Takako is the phoenix contestant. It's one of those two.
Shotaka and Shiba.
Tokako, or Takako. It's one of those two. And Sarada's not Takako. Yep. Both of their sensei are here, so your mission is to either get in good with their sensei, or get in good with them.
What do I have on me for gifts of greeting?
You have appropriate gifts for each of the clans that are in a chest.
So get to know their senseis.
Yep, that's fair. Yep. All right, the rest of you all have to. Each of your scrolls are for the 3 days of competition, and it is going to be good time. So there's a range of events that are taking place over day 1, day 2, and day 3. Day 3 is an Iaijutsu tournament that will determine the overall winner. But day 1 and day 2 are a series of both martial and non-martial contests. For day 1, which is what we're going to focus on for now, there is Sumai, which is wrestling, athletics, heraldry, let's see, athletics, heraldry, and the test of your knowledge of law, etiquette, and Bushido. So there are scrolls laid out for all of you, signing you up in the appropriate contests. Daishi, you're signed up for Sumai, athletics, and law, etiquette, Bushido knowledge. Do you want to? Is that agreeable, or do you want to try for heraldry as well?
You said Sumai, athletics, and law, etiquette, and Bushido?
Yeah, that's one test, your knowledge of those 3 things.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Basically 2 martial tests and a knowledge test.
Yeah, that works for me.
Works for you? Okay. Why am I blanking on names? Kinsuke. Kinsuke, you were signed up for heraldry, athletics, and law, etiquette, and Bushido.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm good with those.
Okay. And Shizuka, you are signed up for just athletics and law, etiquette, and Bushido. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you are allowed to spend the evening doing whatever you like. It's heading towards evening, though the letter from each of your senseis recommends rest. It is a beautiful city, and you are free to go about what you would like to do. But what would you like to do, or are you going to go to bed? Yeah.
You go ahead. No. I was going
Please,
a lot during
I'm
the
gonna,
present.
I'm
Please, go
polite.
ahead. Do I have to refuse 3 times?
Maybe.
This is going to be a long season.
Yeah.
I'm going to set out my calligraphy stuff, and I'm going to prepare some gifts for my traveling companions.
If I get another calligraphy middle finger.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and Daishi?
Well, I'm going to spend most of the evening preparing for the law, etiquette, and Bushido test.
Okay, all right.
However, do I have any money on me?
Yes, all of you have the starting amount of koku that would come on your character, which is between 3 to 5, depending on your class.
Coming into the city, did any particular establishments catch my eye that I would have a hard time resisting?
Oh, the poisoned sake tea house, in particular.
I keep it in the back of my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually going to roll to see whether or not I spend my time irresponsibly.
Okay, all right.
How would you like me to do it?
I would actually do either. What would that be? Let's do. I'm trying to say,
like smiling because he's like, you have secrets.
Do a meditation roll. In other words, you're trying to meditate to focus and keep calm. All right. Since these are all readily available to you, I'll say your TN's actually 15. It's a little higher than a basic average roll because everything is just here. So it's harder for you to resist it.
Yeah, it's not in the fucking mountains.
Exactly, yeah.
Ryushi Takio gets up in the middle of the night. Someone's keeping a secret
2
from me.
explosions.
Okay, so you look out over the beautiful city. There are sparklers, there's streamers. People are celebrating because the tournament is starting tomorrow. And you take a breath, turn, sit down on tatami mat, and focus your center, and are able to resist. Anyone else before I close session off?
I'm going to take out my book for because the Akodo have a special book from the Akodo.
Yes.
So I'm going to take that out.
Leadership or martial?
Martial.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
just
all
so
right.
that way I can be inspired for
Yep,
the athletics thing tomorrow.
Yep.
And then I also go. I take out my letter and I start writing a letter to my mother because fuck you.
Oh, because fuck you, Takio is going to be the reason why a lot of people choose to be nicer in this session.
Okay. And yourself? Or are you just going to say, I'll get involved in
No,
this
screw
later?
that. It's nighttime. I'm going to work.
Okay, all right.
First off, do I have any contacts in this city?
Yes, you do.
Oh, let's start talking to them. Let them know I'm in
Start
town.
talking to your contacts, okay?
I need to know who the... I need to... I take a quick minute to try and meet the owner of the...
Yep. Easily done. Okay, we'll do that next session.
Yeah,
the
so I'm
owner,
gonna set up, I need to set up a meeting with the owner. I'm immediately going to find out where everyone who's on my target list is staying. I need...
All at the Laughing Carp.
Everyone's at the
All of
oh,
the
that's
contestants, this is a large inn, so all the contestants are here.
Cool.
But everyone else, likely their senseis, and all the other dignitaries are staying at different areas.
Yeah.
Um,
I need to know who's going in and out of what stores in the city. I need to know who's going to...
Like who in particular, because there's
No,
hundreds
just
of
in
people
general.
in the city.
If a samurai goes into any merchant location that involves sake, drugs, or women...
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, all right.
Sake,
Yeah.
sucks...
Building his black book.
I need to know they're coming in and out.
Okay, all right. Yeah, fair enough.
Preparing,
Okay.
he's
Yep.
updating.
He's not preparing, he's updating.
He's checking his Twitter.
So how about, let's say you will get that information in the morning, but you send out to your contacts, and you have about half a dozen individuals who you can work within in this area.
Yeah.
And next session you'll get that information, but you wait for the morning.
We'll roleplay me meeting the owner next session.
Next session,
But that
exactly.
will happen.
But everything else will happen over the course of the evening as they go out and get information.
Sure.
And we will roleplay meeting the owner next session. But to end off this session, each of you, as you finally do pass out to sleep, eagerly anticipating the events of the coming morrow, each of you awaken with no clear purpose as to why. And you find that there is light shining from the exterior courtyard. There's a very traditional inn where there's a center courtyard and everything else is built around it in a square. There's a light shining from the central courtyard outside the paper screen of your room.
Is it like sunlight or is it like candlelight?
Candlelight.
Okay.
But with no discernible individual candles. It's just that kind of warmth. All of you open your shoji screen slightly and see kneeling in the middle of the courtyard is an elderly man, not the same elderly man, a different one, with a stern face kneeling in front of a formal tea set at a low table surrounded by proper pillows. And he opens his mouth, says, "Sit by me." Not a request, a statement. But then follows up with the question, "Who will pour me my tea?" And we will end there. So thank you, Legion, for tuning into the first session of our Legend of the Five Rings long game. And thank you to all of my players as we eagerly await Session 2 and find out not only the conversation that Dakio has with the innkeep and what strange information that he gets from his informants, but who the hell is this old man offering tea in the middle of the night to all of our contestants. So thank you.
I have a test tomorrow.
You have a test tomorrow. I refuse to be interrupted. All right, so thank you, everyone, and thank you to my players, and we will see you next time.
Bye.